Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. This is Man's Final Steps. It is a continuing series to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelations chapter 7 and 14. Today is January 19th, 2014. My name is Symmanayah, and this begins a new segment of Man's Final Steps. In this segment, it is entitled Self-Inflicted Strongholds. Self-inflicted strongholds. Deliverance is here. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there are strongholds. Self-inflicted. Why? Because we have developed habits and practices for so long. When reproof comes, we do not have a ready mind to come away from such practices. Even when we know the truth has come, we fear what others may say about us. We are hesitant. Even though we become convinced, even though our spirit within us, the spirit of Yahuah within us, convicts, make known, uncover, we tend to hold on because we are afraid of what others are going to think about us if we change, if we come away from habits that we have been doing for so long, especially if we are leaders in any way, shape, or form, especially if we've been outspoken about a certain practice or influence. These are what I call self-inflicted strongholds. But know this, my brothers, deliverance is here. These are indeed the last days. End times have arrived, and with them humbling events are emerging before us. Many of us are pursuing diligently to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah. We are pursuing to be led by His set-apart Spirit sent in Yahush's name. Yes, Yahushua, our Mashiach, our Messiah, is whom we believe will guide us, instruct us, teach us, and free us from strongholds. Over the years, I have witnessed many situations where brothers and sisters feel caught, torn, or they face hard decisions based on self-inflicted strongholds. Yes, unaware that deliverance is here. Void of knowing the Spirit of Yahushua will make us free. Void of knowing the Spirit of Yahushua will not free us from the strongholds. We are made free by coming to know the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Even from habits that we bring on ourselves, it is the Spirit of Yahushua that brings deliverance, and deliverance is here. Yes, I have witnessed brothers and sisters become victims of self-inflicted strongholds. Whether we know it or not, promises are made to the children of the Most High regarding obedience. Whether we recognize our situation as self-inflicted strongholds or not, this will not stop the refining process promised in Scripture. These are man's final steps. The 144,000 and multitude will come to be. We will witness a gathering to a safe place. There are many of us who fail to realize deliverance is here. Throughout our journey towards maturity, to worship and obey He that is Almighty, Yahuah is His name, deliverance is before us each day if we will listen and yield to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua, directly or as He speaks through us one towards another. I have witnessed many who are void of worshiping and obeying because they do not hear the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Void of knowing the Spirit of Yahushua is near, directly as well as within a brother or sister who is near. On the matter of self-inflicted strongholds, I have witnessed over the years individuals who have adapted behaviors and practices. They have taught themselves into believing it's okay. They have leaned on excuses or their own academic prowess or their own rationale, void of hearing what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying or just disregarding what is right before them. I have seen individuals who are outspoken embrace a position of belief in their pursuit to lead and their eagerness to direct and or influence not only themselves but also others. I have witnessed the self-proclaimed mores and teachers, self-appointed shepherds and false prophets, and other self-appointed ones create habits that lead others to believe these habits are true and righteous. Many have manipulated scriptures void of hearing the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua and taken scriptures just to justify their own teachings. I have also witnessed individuals who will use man-made programming. Yes, in other words, they talk themselves into it. They actually believe what they're saying is true. What they're doing is right. Among the ranks of these ill-conceived behaviors, they have created self-inflicted strongholds, not only among themselves, but also placed them on others. Know this, my brothers and sisters, in spite of what they have done, deliverance is here. Deliverance will prove to be successful. Here are some examples of such behaviors that have run rampant. Behaviors that, as the truth is gradually cracking through, pressing through, becoming more visible, these are habits and behaviors that people do not want to let go or come away from. And I ask you, my brothers and sisters, before you assume a false witness against these words, before you just naturally assume that these words are wrong, pray earnestly. Pray earnestly and seek to discern and understand. Ask yourself, are you willing to die for all that you believe on your stance regarding what I am getting ready to present? Do you believe wholeheartedly such that you will stand on the right side of the ground if it was a choice between the ground getting ready to open up? Have you embraced that belief that strong to hold on to it? If not, my brothers and sisters, what you are about to hear, I strongly encourage you to pray about it, earnestly seek with the intent to pursue and discover what is right, not what you've been taught all these years or what you think is right. Pray earnestly to hear the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua and allow Him to make known, make clear what is righteous. Here are some of the habits that are running rampant. Practicing habits and behaviors that those who are from the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Yehudim but are not, taking on their habits, thinking that you are recapturing what belongs to you. You've seen it. You've seen brothers and sisters who come to see who true Yasharal are, and then they look at those from the synagogue of Satan, and then they start adapting their habits, their dress, their attire, their ways, their practices. Another thing is failure to honor the Shabbat from morning to morning, not knowing that widely, evening to evening, was practiced and is practiced among the wicked ones, including those from the synagogue of Satan. Many will argue and present scriptures and throw scriptures around. This is something that the Spirit of Yahushua will prove. Many will compromise and still fellowship with one another, even though they disagree with when the Shabbat start. No house, no reign divided against itself can stand, my brothers and sisters. We are told to guard the Shabbat, and among all the commandments, we are told to remember the Shabbat. Soon and very soon, proof will come among the obedience, among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude. So pray and watch. If you are holding on to it evening to evening, if you are holding on to just following moon cycles erroneously, be mindful, my brothers and sisters. Proof will come, and it will separate the obedient from the disobedient. Another habit is fighting and debating on when a day begins and ends versus being led by the Spirit of Yahushua and discovering what is true. There's a debate and arguing, and as well as there's debating and arguing over whether we can cook or not on Shabbat. There are those who claim because they have a gas stove or gas oven that has a pilot that's always lit, that it's okay to use it and heat up your food. There are those who are separated and divided from such teaching because they fail to realize that some stoves have electric pilots. Yes, we are divided with all ill-conceived practices void of really knowing the purpose of Shabbat. There are teachings and behaviors that are out of hand, that are contrary. We have come to fail to realize the purpose of Shabbat. A time of rest, a time of acknowledging the Almighty Father, a time of fellowship, a time of coming away from distraction. We have failed to realize that Shabbat was made for man, not man for Shabbat. Again, so many practices regarding Shabbat, so many practices that are ill-conceived and that are full of wickedness, some aware, some unaware. Some think that their good intentions are acceptable and excusable. But I say to you, my brothers and sisters, pray, for indeed in these last days, these end times, we will come to see demonstration of how the Shabbat should be honored and what must be done and what cannot be done on Shabbat. I've seen fighting over whether we should wear fringes versus tassels. Some camps are set up, some fellowships, because they say it should just be fringes all across the bottom of your garment. Others say it doesn't matter. Some say it should be tassels on the four corners of your garment. Some say whether fringes or tassels, at least you're trying to honor what was done in days of old. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, there are people who are making practices and influencing others with behaviors that are void of identifying the true purpose of this order that came from the Almighty Father. There are those who are identifying behaviors who are void of hearing the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua and obeying his living guidance and instruction on these matters. Another thing, there's an attempt to restore practices that were once exhibited in days of old, practices that are mentioned in Scripture. There are many who are trying to restore those practices, thinking they are being restored by their own skills and their own actions, versus waiting for the Spirit, the living Spirit of Yahushua, to bring living proof and restoration as to how we are to be governed, how we are to respond, how we are to worship and obey him. The reign of Yahushua will come. And as the 144,000 and multitude emerge, we will see in our refining process, in the perfecting process, righteous leaders chosen by the Spirit of Yahushua, bringing order the way things should be and will be. All obstacles will be removed. There are those who grasp imagery. Yes, those who run around thinking they have the so-called Hebrew garment, or garments with embroidery displaying the picture of a menorah, the seven-pronged candlestick. Garments with embroidery with the name that they believe is the Almighty Father Yahuwah's name or Yahushua's name. And it may say Yahuwah, it may say Yahushua. But we are ordered not to have any carvings, not to have images of anything from above. Carved letters depicting Yahuwah and Yahushua's name. My argument and my art is not with the name. It is the fact that we are not supposed to be putting carvings, imageries, embroidery, practices like the pagans, thinking that if you just show that name, that makes you important. My brothers and sisters, it is through our witness, it is through our actions, it is through our obedience to the Most High. Yes, whether it's in ancient Hebrew, modern, or in our native language, translated from Hebrew, or English or Yiddish, whatever language you're talking about. The bottom line, we are not supposed to be spreading these things around like idols. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it has caused many to be distracted, trying to determine what is the right type of clothing to wear, void of realizing what is important. Some become envious because they cannot afford or do not have the ability to get clothes with embroidery. It is a distraction and an abomination, my brothers and sisters, whether we care to accept it or not. Some have taken on the belief if you dress like a Hebrew, this makes you more aware. Some have even said by me dressing like a Hebrew, this what made me be able to witness. Void of realizing that it is the Spirit of Yahushua that harden hearts and soften hearts. It is the Spirit of Yahushua that makes alive the words, the opportunities to share his righteousness. Many have leaned and believed because they are wearing tassel or a fringe or a Hebrew garment or because they have a head wrap. Many believe that because they look Hebrew, this is what they give credit to. They give credit to these dress, this attire, this outwardness. They're giving credit to their own behavior and actions, void of knowing that it is the Spirit of Yahushua that went inside of a person and softened that person's heart. It is the Spirit of Yahushua that ordered the steps of that person speaking or that person listening. It is the Spirit of the Most High Father that made the witness possible and successful. It was not because of the garment. Do not be deceived, my brothers and sisters. Yes, these behaviors exist, self-inflicted strongholds, but deliverance is here. Yes, there are those that just blatantly ignore the commandment regarding such behavior, and many individuals have even set up shop. They sell garments, saying that these are Hebrew garments. They sell garments with embroidery, thinking that this makes you most righteous. It is the inward part of the man. It is the action of a man. It is not the garment with a Hebrew name of Yahuah. It is not the garment. So some are creating distractions. Some are creating and fueling envy for those who are poor and cannot afford. Some are saying, well, if you can't afford, I'll give it to you. Or they try to say, well, you can afford a DVD, or you can afford gym shoes, or you can afford this. You can afford my embroidered garment. So it's a lot of debate and bantering going around. This is causing many distractions. This is pure wickedness, whether many realize it or not. And soon, and very soon, it will be laid waste. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there are those practicing what they believe to be the true Moedim, the true appointed times, such as Shabbat, the feast times, and or the new moon. Many unaware of their purpose and precise timing. But we talk ourselves into believing, well, I'm going to try, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make an attempt. Or we talk ourselves into continuing in our practices because we have influenced others, or because we either have an assembly or family and people that we have told so strongly how we believe so strongly on what we're doing. My brothers and sisters, this is not a game. Yes, we have been deceived. We have been presented with so many ill ways of measuring times, a day, and or the calendar. Trust that the Most High will honor His word and make straight, make righteous what has been wrong among those who pursue true obedience. Yes, we must learn to wait. We must learn to pray and discern. We must learn to acknowledge what true worship and obedience is. So many think that good intentions, talking ourselves into thinking that it's okay to do this or that, makes it right. Soon and very soon, proof will come, and it will bring rejoicing to those who hunger and eagerly seek proof to be corrected and walk in righteousness, and it will be pain and regret and heartache for those who kick against, who delay reproof, and in some cases it will be much sorrow to those who fail to respond to righteous instruction and reproof. My brothers and sisters, I call these self-inflicted strongholds because these and many other wicked practices have infected those who desire righteousness. These wicked practices have grown out of control. Erroneous behaviors over time results in self-inflicted strongholds. Why? Because you know it's wrong. Why? Because you don't know for sure that it is what is ordered. Why? Because you may be void of hearing from the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua, or just ignoring it. Self-inflicted strongholds, such that when reproof comes to our face, we take on an ill-directed approach and reject what is right. Yes, we have practiced some things so long that they have taken roots and taken hold of us. I label these things self-inflicted strongholds because these are those things which we know better. We have been able to hear the Spirit of Yahushua speak, one towards another or directly. We have allowed these strongholds to continue, but they will be laid waste. There are those who became or become so comfortable with various practices that they find it hard to yield to reproof. Some that have set up shops and stores and means of income and don't want to let it go. I must admit, I've seen over and over again, but most recently it was as though it hit a tipping point. I prayed and prayed some more, believing wholeheartedly that the time for this message was overdue. Habits which have become old, habits that we have been doing so long, habits that we have pushed on others and spoke so strongly about, habits that we have spoken very strongly, but do not align with true worship and obedience, these habits will end. Deliverance is here and proof will come. You see, the 144,000 in multitude is being refined, regardless of those who are attempting to masquerade as the Almighty Yahuah's chosen. Regardless of those who are stealing languages and grabbing instructions in pieces and trying to mimic the gathering of the 144,000 in multitude. Regardless of these who are deceived and misguided. The true 144,000, those who are truly among the ranks of the obedient, who will be among the 144,000 in multitude, will come to be with proof, and they will fulfill scriptures. Those who have fallen victim to self-inflicted strongholds, but are among the chosen of the Almighty Yahuah, to participate in the fulfillment of the gathering of the 144,000 in multitude, will, not might, will definitely discover that deliverance is here, and they will receive reproof. They will receive correction. You see, my brothers and sisters, there are promises made, and there are prophecies which foretells of the 144,000 in multitude. This is something we cannot stop, we cannot halt, we cannot delay these things from being fulfilled. Those who will be among the true ranks of the Almighty Yahuah's chosen children, who will be refined and perfected to participate in the fulfillment of the 144,000 in multitude, will become visible, and we will witness what has been written. The time is at hand, my brothers and sisters, where we will witness and discover self-inflicted strongholds will be laid waste. Deliverance is here to those who will be in the ranks of the 144,000 in multitude. All wicked habits and practices will be brought to correction, and we will witness deliverance as well as the righteous ways to honor all that is written, including the correct times for Shabbat, the feast times, and the new moon. Yes, we have been attacked. Yes, the true methods for measuring time, days, and a year have been distorted. We have become aware of this wickedness, but out of eagerness to see retribution or correction, we have talked ourselves into contributing towards mass confusion in more ways than many of us are aware. Please note, there are those whom the Almighty Father Yahuah, through his set-apart spirit, who are aware of what is righteous. There are those who are delivering what must be done and what the Spirit of Yahushua will do in guiding us to navigate how to do what is right. Yes, my brothers and sisters, soon we will witness some extreme humbling events that will bring us in check. In the foreseeable future, we will witness many fall, many who will hold on to some of the same wicked practices, thinking that this is hard to say it's wicked. Many who think because of good intentions it's okay, void of knowing we are ordered to obey, to worship and obey. Not have good intentions, but obey, and out of our obedience it will demonstrate righteous actions. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there are those among us, those whom the Almighty Father through Yahuah, through his set-apart spirit whom he sent in Yahushua's name, who are aware of what should be done and what will be done. There are those who will speak what is right among us. Orders. Yes, orders. Orders and commands are here, and they will enlarge and become more and more visible. As I have mentioned often, these are indeed man's final steps. I strongly encourage each and every listener to this message to evaluate their position in pursuit of righteousness. I strongly encourage each and every listener of this message, before you get bent out of shape, before you create a false witness against these words, pray earnestly and sincerely to discern and understand whether these words are true. You see, working words will stir your spirit. Working words will fulfill the task that they have been designed to do. Working words reflect Isaiah 55:11. They will perform and accomplish all that they are designed to fulfill, and will not, absolutely not, return to the Almighty Father empty nor void. It will be wise to begin taking a position of readiness and yield to living instruction, including reproof, with a ready mind, lest in delay we come to experience much regret and or possibly death or sleep. It is a terrible thing to tempt the Most High Father. It is a terrible thing to think that we have control and can do whatever we want. If we look in scriptures, we can discover many different ways in which discipline was enacted upon those who fought against righteousness and Yahuah's chosen. There was only one promise regarding the destruction that will not be repeated, and that is the destruction which occurred during the days of Noah. The Most High Father Yahuah promised he would not destroy the planet with a magnitude of water such as the great flood during the days of Noah. A covenant was made. As pertaining to any other demonstration regarding reproof, discipline, judgment, and or wrath, of which we have witnessed in Scripture, these and other type means of discipline could come before us. We will witness discipline, correction, instruction is promised, judgment is promised, and the wrath will come upon the children of disobedience. My brothers and sisters, this is a season to realize that no man, no beast, no any living thing can stop the refining process, nor the scriptures that are to be fulfilled, or what is to come, what is so ordered by the Almighty Father. Those among the ranks of the obedient will come to know that even self-inflicted strongholds, we will find and discover that deliverance is here. It will happen. This is a season to fervently seek to discern and understand and yield to that deliverance. It is a season to realize and self-afflicted stronghold deliverance is here. It is a season to realize when reproof visit us that we should establish a ready mind to respond with precision. It is a season where we will discover that some will delay even when they know things are righteous, but will face the consequences that are necessary to bring and make right. It is a season to come to understand more fully how the power of atonement and regeneration make it possible that even when we discover that we have been involved with self-inflicted strongholds or we have been overtaken by the enemy, we can admit and turn and repent from such actions regardless of whether we've been doing it for many years. It is a season that we will discover that deliverance is here. Yes, we will witness the power and strength of the Spirit of Yahushua free us from such strongholds. It is a time we will witness the self-inflicted strongholds vanish from among the ranks of those who will be among the 144,000 in multitude, those who will come out of the great tribulation. What do you think is meant by robes being made white, washed white by the blood of the Lamb? What is your take on when it describes in Revelation 14:14, it says, they are those who were not defiled with woman, for they are maidens. They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them. They were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to Elohim and to the Lamb. What do you think that means? You may come to be surprised that what is taught widely is not true. You will soon come to see the life in this scripture and understand the power of atonement and regeneration. You will come to know what it means that the robes are made white by washing in the blood of the lambs. Pray, my brothers and sisters, pray and seek earnestly what is true. For any obstacles which fight against righteousness of the Almighty Father Yahuah will be laid waste. It will be wise to ask questions, exhaustive questions, many questions. It will be wise to seek earnestly for the purpose of worship and obedience, not to impress somebody, not to beat up on somebody, not to make yourself something that you're not. It will be wise to seek earnestly for the purpose of true worship and obedience to the Most High. Seek out answers, ask questions to uncover what truly is righteous. It will be wise to put your academic prowess in check and hear what the living voice of the Spirit of Yahushua is saying, whether it is direct or through one of his chosen and or called out ones. Pray and seek to manage emotions, for anger or ill feelings, emotions towards someone who is obedient is not a healthy thing. It's not healthy to get mad and angry at someone who is being obedient, someone who is actually being led by the Spirit of Yahushua. Pray. Make sure before you are quick to become angry, before you are quick to dismiss what is before you, make sure you know unequivocally, without a doubt, whether or not it is the Spirit of Yahushua speaking directly to you or through you from one to another. Yes, my brothers and sisters, these are some trying times. Pray earnestly. Yes, my brothers. Remember the story of Jonah, one who ran away, trying to run but could not escape what was so ordered by the voice of the Almighty One. So we cannot run if we think we're fleeing from what is righteous. If it is indeed righteous, running away will prove to be unfruitful. Remember that it is the Almighty Father Yahuwah's plan. It will rise. It will become visible. It will be wise to know we actually have one who will teach us and bring to remembrance all that is necessary for our improved worship and obedience. We have one sent by the Almighty Father. His name, Yahushua, our Mashiach, our Messiah. Whether we have developed habits, many habits of which we have come accustomed to during these end times, these latter days, whether they are self-inflicted strongholds or not, whether we realize that they are wicked practices or not, if they are not righteous and do not line up with the righteousness of the Most High, they will be laid waste among those who diligently seek after righteousness. They will be laid waste before those who are alive to witness the spirit and almighty power of Yahushua. Wicked practices will come to an end among those who are ordered, those who are commanded to be among the ranks of the 144,000 in multitude. Deliverance is here, my brothers and sisters. Knowing this, there is a good stronghold, and there are influences that overtake us which are not good. Please listen carefully as I share some scriptures with you. Psalm 28:8 reads, Yahuah is the strength of his people, and he is the stronghold of deliverance of his anointed. Proverbs 10:29 reads, the way of Yahuah is a stronghold for the perfect, but ruin to the workers of wickedness. Jeremiah 16:19 reads, O Yahuah, my strength and my stronghold and my refuge. In the day of distress, the Gentiles shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood, futility, and there is no value in them. That was Jeremiah 16:19. Nahum 1:7, Yahuah is good as a stronghold in the day of distress, and he knows those who take refuge in him. Something to consider, my brothers and sisters. Let these words become alive and stir your spirit and contribute towards your journey. Contribute towards maturity. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, no trial has overtaken you except such as is common to man, and Elohim is trustworthy, who shall not allow you to be tried beyond what you are able, but with the trials shall also make the way of escape, enabling you to bear it. We who are a family can expect the following if we fall short of obedience. The following that will be akin to fulfilling what is stated in Hebrews 12th chapter, verses 5 through 11. And it reads as follows. And you have forgotten the appeal which speaks to you as sons. My son, do not despise the discipline of Yahuah, nor faint when you are reproved by him. For whom Yahuah loves, he disciplines and flogs every son whom he receives. If you endure discipline, Elohim is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom a father does not discipline? But if you are without discipline, of which all have become sharers, then you are illegitimate and not sons. Moreover, we indeed had fathers of our flesh disciplining us, and we paid them respect. Shall we not much rather be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they indeed discipline us for a few days, as seemed best to them. But he does it for our profit, so that we might share his apartness. And indeed, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but grievous. But afterwards it yields peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, we will witness this come to be. We will witness the 144,000 in multitude trained by it. Romans 5:10 reads, For if being enemies we were restored to favor with Elohim through the death of his Son, much more, having been restored to favor, we shall be saved by his life. 2 Corinthians 5:18 reads, And all matters are from Elohim, who has restored us to favor with himself through Yahushua Messiah, and he has given us the service of restoration to favor. My brothers and sisters, I have presented what I believe I was compelled to deliver. I have presented what was given to me. It is like responding and stepping back to watch the Most High Father Yahuah through his set-apart spirit, send in Yahushua's name, bring his words to life, and do what they are tasked to perform. Yes, these are indeed man's final steps. It is as though we are witnessing a race. Yes, it's like we're witnessing a race. Will we kill ourselves and become extinct due to massive food shortages? Will man die off due to our population outpacing food production? Will man become extinct due to global warming conditions? Will we become extinct because of mass pollution and poisons and diseases? Will there be depopulation, killing off a large number of people within the ranks of the population in an effort to save man? Have we reached tipping points and peak levels regarding food supply, fresh water, and our ability to sustain ourselves? These and many like questions are circulating the planet among world leaders, scientists, and academia. Yes, it is as though it's a race to identify what will happen first. Will man become extinct? Will man come up with a solution? Or will there be intervention by he who is the beginning and the end? He who is ancient of days, he who provides life eternal. We know, yes, my brothers and sisters, we know, we who are among the children of the Almighty Father Yahuah, we who are of the reign of Yahushua Mashiach, we have come to know and embrace what is truly to be. We have come to know that the plan belongs to the Most High Father, and it is his plan, not scientists, not world leaders, not academicians. Professors and teachers. Trying to use a word that I can't even say clearly. Yes, I am human. But nevertheless, a slight pause. Let us continue. While all these questions surface and circulate, while news and catastrophes rise, while famine and disease and drought is on the rise, while forced movement have begun for some and not others, end time prophecies will be fulfilled. They will come to be, my brothers and sisters. Yes, he that is ancient of days will provide life eternal to those that are his. Yes, we who are among the children of the Almighty will come to witness scriptures being fulfilled like never before. And whether we acknowledge wickedness as self-inflicted strongholds, or whether we acknowledge that we have become slaves due to habits that we have allowed in our lives that demonstrate erroneous practice and behaviors, whether we pay attention or not, deliverance is here and it will come. The discipline, the promises, all that has been said in Scripture regarding Yahuwah's chosen, his children, will come to be. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. The sooner we can establish a ready mind and respond to what is righteousness, the more we open ourselves up to receive even more that is right. Otherwise, we find ourselves spiraling down something that is most regretful. The 144,000 in multitude, a group that will come to be, not a maybe, not a might, not a if you decide you want to respond, not a well, I don't know, not a well, if he can find someone. These scriptures will be fulfilled. Therefore, as I stated before, time and time again, there are orders and command that will come to be, and no one, no living creature, nothing will be able to stop what is to be. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, seek out what is indeed righteous. Pray to discern and understand. Learn what it is to establish patience and wait on the Most High to make straight and make right, especially when it comes to the practices regarding the Moedim. Seek to understand what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying regarding the appointed times and how we must honor them and respond according to all that is written. Grabbing a substitute or a surrogate or something to do in the meantime until you made right, this is plain wickedness, my brothers and sisters. It is self-inflicted. It is a self-inflicted stronghold. Because we can't wait till the Spirit of Yahushua prove unequivocally what we're supposed to do. Because we fail to listen to those that are among the ranks of the obedience who share what the purposes of these Moedims are. We want to dismiss their words. We want to label them falsely. We want to accuse them wrongly. It is a dangerous thing to kick against what is right. Soon and very soon, my brothers and sisters, we will come to find the proof that we desire. In some cases, the proof is right before us. So it is better, if you are in doubt, to stay before the altar of the Almighty Father until such doubt is removed. And I am not talking about removed by wicked influence or because this is what the majority of people are doing. I am saying a doubt that is removed, that you are willing to lay your life down believing that you indeed are practicing what is righteous. Why do I say that? Consider when the ground opened, when they fought against Moshe, when they fought against Yahuah's guidance and leading Yasharal, and the ground opened and swallowed the group who fought against what was said. Consider those who died during the days of Noah or the days of Lot. You see, my brothers and sisters, with precision will come orders and command. With precision will come living instructions, guidance, and reproof, as well as discipline. With precision, the scriptures will be made alive to us by the Spirit of Yahushua. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Deliverance is here. And until next time, seek to discern and understand. Continue to stay tuned as this series, Man's Final Steps, continues. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.